Hello, everybody. Such an honor to be here. Dr. Niikee'sha Fae, mystic mentor, spiritual guide, wisdom teacher. And a whole bunch of other hats that I change from, that I change from time to time, depending on, what's happening around the place. So I just wanted to share first. I've just finished a beautiful new moon circle, and we were discussing or sharing teachings around accessing higher self. And, we're all aware that there's a higher self, that we have a higher self, but we are actually our higher self. And one of the resistances that I see quite frequently in my clients that makes it difficult to access the higher self is a lack of self-love. And why this is so important is because if we don't believe that we are worthy of that, or if we don't believe we're of value enough to hold our higher self-consciousness, then it's not possible. And one of the things that stands out is there's actually an energetic gateway that exists between the heart and the solar plexus, which is the space of the sense of self. And this gateway can become constricted when we are always picking on ourselves, when we focus on all the things we're not good enough, or we did a terrible job, or we're silly, or we, make bad decisions, or we blah, 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 blah. I'm sure that, that some of you at least will be able to relate to that. I remember I was terrible at it when I was younger, and it was really something that I had to allow myself to be relieved of, because the things that we tell ourselves aren't in alignment with the fact that we are already our higher self being. And so this beautiful, divine, high frequency part of us is already part of us. But what happens when we get stuck in the repeating stories about problems and, especially about that we're the problem, then it's not a match. We're a mismatch energetically to be able to connect with that higher frequency part of ourselves. And so, the beauty of doing the inner work and, the introspection and reflection so that we can witness these faulty beliefs, I like to call them, but these untruths that we tell about ourselves is such a big key to allowing ourselves to change that pattern, because it becomes a habit to, just be begrudging the self, all the time. It took me quite a long time to break that habit, but it's when you start to be aware that it's a habit and allow yourself the possibility that maybe that's not true, because it's not true. It's not our higher being self, which we are also. And, so we get to choose which frequency bandwidth we want to play in or reside in this earth school or on this earth plane. And so when we're continuing to allow ourselves to be stuck in all of, the problems and, unworthiness, not good enough, not lovable, all of these things. And we all have them. This is really important to recognize as well, that we all have these faulty beliefs. And so not getting mad at the self for having these faulty beliefs. There becomes more spaciousness when we realize that everybody has these patterns And when we create more spaciousness in our awareness, it makes it much easier to change the habits, of, belittling ourselves, or, believing, that we're not good enough for things. And so what I was feeling into is, if anyone who's on this call and can really relate to that, because the guides shared a beautiful process with people to help to shift some of those patterns. And it's a process that that you can use repeatedly. And so if you are interested in that, if you want to get in contact with me, I'm happy to share that with you. I can share with you the link to the recording. So you could contact me through my website. There's a little contact me at the bar, and just leave a note that, you're from this beautiful community and you'd love to access that recording, and I can send that to you. Or if you send me a message through the social media as well. So I'm at Dr. Nikki Energy Medicine on Instagram, or the School of Metaphysical Practice on Facebook. And if you just drop me that message, then I'm happy to share that link with you, because, these faulty beliefs really keep us doing everything that we really desire to do in our lives. And it's like this big barrier of energy. And so anyway, without further ado, I just thought I'd share that with you. But if you can relate to that, I guess the invitation here is to maybe notice when you're being mean to yourself, and ask yourself, is that really true? And then if you come to the beautiful heart space, if you listen to the episode from last week, I dived a lot more deeply into the energy of the heart, and I took one of the callers through a beautiful heart process. And, that's a short way to do that, to come into your heart space, breathe, bring the energy of your true heart forward, and then ask yourself, is that true? That story that I am terrible or horrible or blah, 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 blah. And then the more often we do that, we catch the habit, and then the less we tend to do that. And that's literally how I reprogrammed myself to stop doing that, is I kept catching myself. I'd pause in the moment and go, whoa, stop. Whoa, stop. And then over time, you start to create new patterns. It's like all the energy, work that I'm sharing here with the callers, and, with others who come to different offerings that I have too. It's in the repetition. So we can harmonize a lot of energy in the moment, and you'll feel really great after doing it. But it's the repetition that starts to create the new patterns in your energy, which will then start to bring a new experience in your life as well. All right, let's take that caller. I missed the name. Who have we got here? Sarah. Sarah, hello. Are you there?
Hi. Yep.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
Did you have something particular you wanted to bring forward?
Just, I guess, my next steps going forward now into the future, I guess.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so what I'll get you to do is to imagine you're breathing in and out through your heart space. Are you able to connect with that?
Yep.
And as you slow down your breath, just relaxing into it. So what I'm feeling is that there's something ahead that you really do want to do, but there's an energy of, what if it doesn't work out? And it hasn't worked out in the past. And there's also some other options. But what the guides would like for you to know is your true heart's desire is the higher timeline, and the stuff from the past is not the stuff in your future unless you carry it there with you. And so stuff that's, happened in the past that may have you believe it's not possible to do what you really do want is just the past. And that will be the barrier if you choose to believe that the past is still true for you. Are you able to relate to that?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. And so if you tune into your heart and breathe your beautiful heart energy, and just let go of the doubts, or if you can connect with any of the doubts, what I'll do is get you to imagine there's a green ball in front of you. And in that green ball, we're just going to pop all those doubts. But as you do that, sitting with the doubts and thanking them for being there, and thanking them for being the gifts that are going to allow you to walk through them. So then they can't be stories anymore. Once you allow yourself to walk through that, they can't be the same stories anymore. And so if you just take any and all of that, really allow yourself to feel all of the stuff that's there, even stuff that doesn't even seem reasonable, that sometimes the mind likes to grab onto. It happens to us all. The mind tells us some crazy things sometimes. And just popping all of that in the green ball. And then imagining you take your hands on each side of the green ball. So we're taking all of that out of your body, out of your energy field. Imagine you're holding the green ball. And now when you come into your heart space, breathing into what it will feel like when you are doing what you truly desire, when you're walking that higher timeline. How does that feel?
Good. It feels better.
Yeah, and so breathing into that, and breathing into that so strongly that you feel the energy of that move down your arms and into your hands, and start to dissolve what's in the ball. The stuff in the ball is just old stories. Some of it's not even real, has never been real. And then imagining right in the very center of your heart a light. Are you able to connect with that?
Yes.
As you breathe into that, this is your beautiful light. And as you breathe into it, it comes forward. This light is unlimited. It's the same light that's in all things. And as you continue to breathe into that, it grows and expands and starts to fill all of your heart space. Are you able to connect with that?
Yes.
And now as you continue to breathe into that, I'm going to weave your light with that joy and that gratitude of walking your path as you desire. Really allowing yourself to feel it as strongly as you can. And then breathing all of that beautiful energy into this green ball. And so it fills with light. And then that green ball gets lighter and lighter until it turns back into light. And as you come back to your beautiful heart space, really basking in your light. Your true essence is this high frequency, higher self frequency connection. And so as you continue to breathe into that, if you allow yourself to do that every day, put any of those doubts and fears in the green ball, whenever they arise, come into your beautiful heart light, know that you are already this divine light, and feel that, and then allow her to guide your way. How's that feeling for you?
It's good.
Yeah, well, good luck. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. Okay, we have Jennifer.
Hello.
Jennifer from Philadelphia. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I've been basking in light all morning.
My question is, I have seen the angel numbers 111 or 1111 consistently, maybe once to several times a day for the last several weeks.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out what they're trying to tell me.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, firstly, they're bringing your awareness to that they're around.
Okay.
And is there something at the moment that, you know, that you're kind of teetering on, not being sure about making a decision?
Yes.
And, you know, and so when the guides are waving to us pretty much, when they're doing things like that, they're letting you know that they're supporting you and to trust.
Okay.
Come into that trust of, you know, what it is that you truly desire. And, you know, notice when doubt and fear creeps in and realize that it's not true. Doubt and fear is a construct which is the opposite of love.
Okay.
And love is that essence that we already are. That's this beautiful higher self, you know, the higher self frequency that we've been sharing about, that beautiful heart energy. So I'm just going to take a moment. And they want you to know that you do know. You do know, like you're very intuitive. They just showed me that you feel. So when you feel your yes and no, do you feel your yes and no?
Yes.
Yeah, know that's right. That's
Okay.
you communing with your higher self wisdom.
Perfect.
Yeah, and to trust that and allow that. And, you know, when you are feeling unsure, really coming into that heart space, you know, doing a beautiful heart-based practice, you know, like that we did with Sarah just before.
Right.
Did you hear that? Yeah.
Yes.
So if you come into your beautiful heart space. And breathe into your heart. they're actually showing me your wings, your angel
Really?
wings. Yeah. You're connected through the realms. You've got an angelic lineage as well
Okay.
in higher dimensional realms. Yeah. I see that sometimes in people. It's like the angels will be around and it'll be, oh, do you connect with the angels? And then that's why. That's why you have an affinity
Oh,
for them. Yeah.
oh, that makes
Yeah.
me feel better.
Yeah. And they want you to know as well that they're always there for you to lean into as well. If you
Okay.
take some quiet space and, if you feel like that you need support, you're feeling unsupported, just call them in and lean into them and, feel their beautiful embrace because they are there with you.
Okay.
Yeah. And if there is things that you're not sure about, come into your beautiful heart space, raise your frequency
Hmm.
and connect with them. Connect with them. Because from that space of expansiveness, it's easier for us to access the bigger picture as well.
Hmm.
So when we're raising our frequency by connecting in with our true heart, by connecting in with those frequencies of gratitude and joy and appreciation and, letting go of all the things, if you need to put them in the green ball, or, the beautiful thing is with practice, you can actually drop into your true essence really quickly
Really?
with practice over time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I always encourage the 5 minutes a day. So 5 minutes a
Okay.
day into everybody's life. And, so if you sit there and you sit in that heart energy, some days it can be really hard at first, but it's like
Hmm.
anything that, with practice, it gets easier.
Okay.
And yeah, it's the same with dropping into your beautiful true essence. And then the beautiful thing is when we're in that space is we can much more easily see what's not true.
Okay. That
We
makes sense.
can, yeah, from that space, we can see what's not in alignment with that higher frequency when we're in that higher frequency.
Okay.
Yeah, and it makes it easier to make decisions and all of those things as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for calling in.
Okay.
Mhm.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Yay. So, that was a quick one. It's so beautiful. And I love that. What I love about, this work is that it's not uncommon that there'll be, you know, certain practices and it'll be relevant to a bunch of people at the same time. And I've just really found it beautiful that even this week, what we were sharing about the self-love bridged on really well to last week because we started talking about, the beautiful energy of the heart last week and, that expanding now this week into the depth of the what's actually happening with our heart energy and we can use that to raise our frequency so that we then become a match to our higher self because we're already our higher self. That's the beautiful thing. It's not something we have to try and struggle to become, like we're kind of, you know we're taught to believe sometimes that we need to do X, Y, and Z to become, what we want to become, but we already are that. And that's what I love about this so much is that it's not about becoming, it's about remembering that we already are. And it gets so much easier to remember when we shed the layers of untruth. When we start to really dive into our energetics, which is a reflection of our subconscious. So our subconscious actually reflects out into our energy. And, without getting too much into the into the intricacies of it, but that's then what draws to us the experiences to help us remember. Even the bad ones are there to help us create change. so that we can ultimately come back to remember the truth that we're already our higher self divinity. And so, just to, reiterate what the message from today and from this morning's moon circle was, it was about self-love and, how we can start to reprogram speaking to ourselves with kindness. And so I'll leave you guys with that thought. And, don't forget, if you'd like a copy of that recording, I'll send you a link. You can just get in touch with me through the contact me at the top of my website. Or if you're on social media, reach out and say hi. I'm always sharing fun things on there as well. So that will be at dr for dr.nikki.energy.medicine. If you look at those on either of Facebook or Instagram, you can find me there. So it's called the School of Metaphysical Practice, which is my beautiful school where we do a lot of teachings and trainings and deepening into all sorts of different mystical wisdom and practices and things like that. But yeah, feel free to reach out. I do have a connect call. So on my website, you can see you can book a little chat with me, if you are interested in, seeing how we might be able to work together, or, what sort of things you might be interested in learning more about as well. Yay. So I'm having lots of fun doing this. If anyone does have any questions that, that you'd like me to share about, at the beginning of the session, do message about that as well. If you have a topic that you'd like to know more about the greater reality, always happy to incorporate that as well. Okay, so I hope you all have the most beautiful weekend. It's new moon, so enjoy. I'm sure some of the other beautiful people here who do more with astrology have shared with you all about this beautiful transition portal that we're in for the next couple of weeks. The Pisces, new moon. Dream your dream. Notice the resistances and trust that your dreams are there for you to walk through into your reality. Love you lots. Mwah. Sending you all the sparkles and love from across the ocean if you're on the other side of the world. Take care.